and welcome to our cosy bookstore. Feel free to browse the aisles and the shelves. We've got chairs if you'd like to sit down and just indulge in a few books, see if there's anything that really takes your interests. If there's anything here that you'd like to buy, or if there's anything you've come in looking to buy, or any genre of books, let me know and I can either point you in that direction, or I can compile a selection of what we have here, see if there's anything that takes your interest. So, is there anything that you're looking for in particular? As in an actual book title? Or are you more here for a browse of certain genres? Because I know sometimes when I go to the bookstore, like this bookstore, I will go with a sort of idea in my head of what I would like. And then from there, pick books that take my interest. If there's a certain subject I'm looking to read up on, or certain non-fiction that I'm looking to learn. Really. So you're looking for more sort of self-improvement mindset sort of books today. We do have a few of them in that will help you in your everyday life if you wish to use the things taught in them. I can probably get you, how many sort of selection would be nice to go through? 5 or 6, maybe. Let me see what I can find for you. I know we've got a few on the bookshelf behind me here, so we can go through a few of them and see if any of those take your fancy, really, and if something takes your interest. We can just go through the books together. I can read you the blurbs and give you a little insight on the book and see if it's something that you're after. How about that? Perfect. So, I'll grab the first book that I think will sort of suit your genre that you're looking for. And that is called How to Change Your Life. This is by the High Performance podcast duo of Jake Humphries and Damien Hughes. I'm not a particularly big fan of the podcast itself, but the books are always really interesting to read because you have insights from so many different, I say celebrities, but they are high performing people, as they call them. Anything from high level Premier League football coaches to businessmen to pop stars, actresses. Anyone who's performing high in their field has probably been on this podcast, and there's a lot of things they put in these books. This isn't the first book in their series, but I think it's the second or third. But we'll start with this one because I think it's the most recent one that we have in. So let me read you a little bit about it. So obviously these are 5 steps to achieving high performance, and even if you don't achieve high performance, you're probably going to learn a few things along the way that really teach you sort of how to optimise stuff and make your life a bit easier. Because a lot of stuff I learned from these are making sure that you're just functioning a bit more thoroughly. I like to be efficient with how I function. I don't like to take lots of time, but I do struggle with it. But let me read the blurb to you. We can go through it together here. So, if your goal is not only to achieve more, but also to live happier, more rewarding existence as you do, then this book is for you. And that's by a creator of another book called Feel Better, Live More by, I think that's Rangan Chatterjee. Transformative, a one-stop guide for anyone seeking to effect change, by Eddie Howe, manager of Newcastle FC, an ex-AFC Bournemouth manager. So he's been performing as well in one of the highest leagues in the football pyramid in general for years. As inspiring, entertaining and motivational, bred with advice that will change your way you think, feel and live. That's by Roxy Nafusi, author of Manifest, which is another book. An indispensable book for anyone who wants to optimise their performance. It will transform your life if you let it. That's Dan Carter, a former All Black rugby player, so for the New Zealand team. And then this is drawing on conversations with Lindsay Burrow, Alistair Campbell, I believe is in politics, Ben Francis, which is the Gymshark CEO, Tyson Fury, obviously the world-renowned boxer, Pippa Grange, Bear Grylls is the survival ex-army man, Jordan Henderson, again a football player, Christian Hort, Russell Kane's a comedian, Gary Lineker, the football player and presenter now, Matthew McConaughey, the actor, Ian McGeehan, Vicky Patterson from Geordie Shore and other things, Adam Peaty, the Olympics medalist swimmer, Mel Robbins, Alex Scott, AJ Tracy, British rapper, Josh Warrington, the boxer, Joe Wicks, which is the fitness coach, and many more. So this has lovely loads of sort of wisdom for you in there if you wish to read that one. This one's got a really nice gold shiny cover, but there's not really too much on the inside. We'll open it up a little bit for you. But this just says, how did the world's most remarkable people get that way? This book is about the highest performing people. Change their lives and how you change yours. Drawing on interviews with record-setting athletes, Olympic coaches, billionaires. Founders Jake Humphries and Damien Hughes introduced 5 simple steps that will take you from where you are to where you want to be. So if that's something you're looking to, and it's not a huge book. As I said, I haven't counted the pages, but it's not massive. So those 5 steps are probably quite concise in there for you. So if you like reading but you're not a really big book reader, this may be a good option for you. If you want, we can put these to one side, so we've been through them all, and you can let me know at the end what ones you're interested in, and we'll run those through the till for you. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let me put this down for now, I'll put it back on the shelf. I'll move on to our next book, which is one of my favourite productivity books that I've read, by Ali Abdul, Feel Good Productivity. How to do more of what matters most to you, or what matters to you, sorry. The book that they've all been waiting for. So, again, I always like a nice cover on a book. This is a nice hardback again. But this book is quite a good seller in our shop, because there's a lot of people I feel like that want to make sure they're productive and not wasting time, because I like to be the same as me, I like to be precise. So if I'm restacking the shelves, if I'm referencing all the books here, I want to make sure that I'm not taking too long to do it and making it as easy as possible for myself, as well as getting the most amount of work done. So this has been a very big seller here. This is our only one left in stock. So if this is one you're interested in, you should probably buy it quite quickly. But let's read this one together, shall we, again. Feel better, achieve more. A much needed antidote to the hustle culture. This book is a reality check for any ambitious person who wants to build sustainable success. And that's by Mark Manson, the author of A Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. I'm not going to swear, obviously that would be very unbecoming. And then, eye-opening and important, Ali Abdul flips the conventional narrative on productivity. Ali is rewriting what we thought we knew about getting stuff done. You can indeed be both happy and successful. I'm not going to go through all of these, but I think you get the gist from that one. So it's just sort of trying to make yourself a bit more productive while still being happy, because I feel like a lot of the time being productive isn't a happy time. You feel like you're doing loads of work, you're getting burnt out, and this may be an antidote to that for you if that's something that interests you. But a lot of these books are very good. They at least have one thing that you can take away from them, and I think if a book has at least one thing you can take away from them, it's worth the read. And I said a very nice cover. But this is the book that I would recommend personally myself. I've read through it and it's very, very useful if you're looking to better yourself or go forward with things and make sure you're getting things done in a very productive way and not wasting any time, but also while keeping your mental health intact and not burning yourself out, because I feel like that's one of the barriers to productivity, is you may burn out. But yeah, that's one of the books on our shelf. And as I said, this one sells out quite quickly. We've only got one left, so at the end, if you want to buy that one, you should probably do it quite quickly. So we have got 3 more books for you currently in here, and one of them, the 2 of them, we've got another high performance one for you. I feel like these books are very well written. They're not too, it's a little bit bigger than the last one, they're not too big, and they're very simple to understand. As in, like, I don't enjoy books that are too wordy. When I'm reading non-fiction, I want to learn things without having to get too wound up in it, because I like to read at night, and especially I feel like if you're reading at night and there's a lot of words to take in, it's not too relaxing. I feel like it keeps me awake. So I want to make sure this is as relaxing as possible for you, because obviously the idea is, yes, you want to help improve yourself and give yourself a bit of improvement and some way to learn, but the main focus is relaxing, and you can't relax, I feel like, if you're too deeply into learning a book, because your brain's working at full speed. But these books are nice to pick up in bite-sized chunks, and they're never too much to learn. I feel like they're enough to learn. You're getting good bits from it, but you're not overpowering yourself with everything. And again, another lovely hardcover book. I don't think you can beat a hardcover book, really. So again, we'll go through this. I'll give you a little bit of a rundown on this book and see if it can take your interest. High performance is not an outcome, it's a journey. Jake Humphrey has spent years interviewing the world's leading athletes, leaders and entrepreneurs, all to uncover the secrets of high performance. Now he reveals how anyone can unlock their potential every day. This guided journal. Its 365 entries invite you to reflect on how far you've come and push yourself to go even further. It's a year-long process with 3 elements: inspire, uplifting quotes from the planet's highest achieving people; think, thought-provoking prompts that invite you to reflect on your day, your work and your life; do, practical exercises that help you identify your strengths and hone your skills. The daily journal will help you achieve success on your terms, whether that's becoming a better professional, a better person, or a better parent, or simply a better person. High performance is already within you. This book will help you find it. And I think it's really important when going for these sort of books to realise that high performance is very much how you perceive it. As it says in here, that could be being a good parent, that could be being a good friend, a good partner, doing well at work, doing well at your hobbies. I think it's very important that you don't put too much emphasis on high performance, because books like this say high performance, but obviously that's a selling point, that's marketing. As I said, I like what these books are about. I don't necessarily like the messages, but they teach you very good things. And as I said, they're quite easy to read, so it's not going to be too stressful for you if you're trying to relax and read. As I said, this is the High Performance Daily Journal. 365 ways to become your best. And again, it's by Jake Humphrey. But I think it's more important in these books to take away from what the high-performing people are saying as well, all the guests, not particularly what Jake Humphrey has to say. But again, as I said to you, not a massive read, but a nice size to sit down and read. These books aren't too big, so you can get through them quite sort of quickly and not have to... I say you want to be able to put time into a book, obviously, but not put too much time into it where you're sitting there at night trying to take everything down and your brain's working every time and you can't quite get that relaxing time. But yeah, this is another option for you, the high performance books. This is the second one in the lineup. So this came before the previous one I showed you, and we will show you the first version of the book, high performance book they brought out. So then you can make your decision on, do you want to get the first one? I'd say you don't have to get read them all in order. They link a little bit, but not enough for me to be like, you have to read this one first. So if there's one that jumps out at you a bit more than the previous one, let me know, because they don't have to be read in chronological order how they were brought out. They don't follow on too much. They've all got different subjects, so if that's a subject which takes your mind more, I definitely recommend you getting that one over getting the first one, because you want to get the second and the third, if that makes sense. So that's our third book in the collection. I'm going to put that back on the shelf for you before we go on to that last high performance one. We're going to move on to this one. Probably again one of the better selling books on our shelves. It's quite a famous book for self-improvement and habits and stuff like that. And as you can see, it says over 8 million copies sold, and that's a lot of copies of the book. And this is called Atomic Habits, and Tiny Changes, Remarkable Results. An easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. Because I feel like a lot of books don't touch on this. If you're looking for self-improvement, we have a lot of self-improvement books in this store, but a lot of them I feel like don't mention about breaking bad habits, and I feel like you've got to break bad habits before you instill good ones. But let me give you a little bit of a rundown on this one for you, because I think you might enjoy this one. A revolutionary way to get 1% better every day, which I think is good, because obviously that's not too overwhelming. Again, this is something you can read at night, and if you're getting 1% better each day, it's a lot easier than getting 10% better, 50% better, and it's taxing, but not as taxing as it would be. So it can be a nice relaxing read for you. People think when you want to change your life, you need to think big. But world-renowned habits expert James Clear has discovered another way. He knows that real change comes from the compound effect of hundreds of small decisions. Doing 2 push-ups a day, waking up 5 minutes earlier, or reading just 1 more page. He calls them atomic habits. In this ground, breaking book. Clear reveals exactly how these minuscule changes can grow into such life-altering outcomes. He uncovers a handful of simple life hacks, the forgotten art of habit stacking, and the unexpected power of the 2-minute rule, or the trick of entering the Goldilocks zone, and delves into cutting-edge psychology and neuroscience to explain why they matter. Along the way, he tells inspiring stories of Olympic gold medalists, leading CEOs, and distinguished scientists who have used the science of tiny habits to stay productive, motivated, and happy. The small changes you'll have to have a transformative effect on your career, your relationship, and your life. So this seems very similar to the Adi Abdul book. I'd say this one is more formal as a book. It's still easy to read, but I say that if you want a book that's a bit more chummy, happier, a bit more positive, they're all positive books, but the Adi Abdul one is a very positive book, and I've listened to the audiobook also, and it's very worded very positively. So it's a nice one to read if you want to be in that, if you're a more positive person, if you respond better to positive talk. This one's good for anyone to read, but obviously I wouldn't say it's a bit heavier, but it's definitely more science-based. As you can see, it's got a nice cover as well. And I said this is by James Clear. He's the author of this book. I said this is a very well-renowned book, a very good selling book. So this is one I would definitely recommend, because as I said, you don't sell 8 million copies of a book and have really good reviews on it without it being a good book. And then finally, that moves us on to the final high performance book, which was the first high performance book removed. Obviously a lot smaller in size and height, and again not too thick as a book. I'd say that's average, maybe average to small as a book goes. And this is High Performance, the lessons from the best on becoming your best. And as I said, this is another one of their series. This is the first one they've created as a book. We do stock all 3 of them here. There is a 4th one that we don't currently stock, but that's quite recent, so we might be waiting to get that one in. But High Performance isn't born, it's made. This book uncovers the 8 essential habits of world-leading sports people, coaches, and entrepreneurs. From taking responsibility for your situation to finding trademark behaviours, it reveals how the world's highest achieving people unlock their potential, and how you can too. Anyone can learn the secrets of high performance. So again, as I said, a lot of the words are based on high performance. I would generally recommend the other 2 over this book for you, because this is my least favourite book of the 3, and I feel like it's a little less useful. You can, if you wanted to read this, you might as well just listen to some of the podcasts and get some rough ideas from people. You could probably Google a lot of stuff that's been mentioned in these books, but the journal is really good. The 365 journal, because that gets you sort of doing stuff along with it every day if you follow it. So you have a task and stuff every day, and you have something to do, and it keeps you in the zone, which is quite nice. I like something you can sort of go along with that keeps me in a routine. But yes, this is the first one if this does interest you. So we go through what we've shown you so far and see if any of them interest you, because I think they're probably the only books we have left on sort of the self-help, sort of self-improvement mindset. Perfect, let me get them all back out for you. They're just behind me here. So, as you can see, we've got Atomic Habits, the 365 Journal, Productivity, and this one here, which is the How to Change Your Life in 5 Steps, basically. About 5 steps to how to change your life. I'm not really a fan of the How to Change Your Life. I feel like that's a bit gimmicky and a bit misleading, but obviously it might work for you. So, if you had a choice of these 3, I'd say out of the 3 books, the high performance one, I'd recommend the first 2 we showed you. So, do you have a preference of how many books you are after? 2 to 3 books, that's fine. So that's going to be 2/3 of what we've got here. Roughly, give or take, 3/5. So, is there any of these that popped out to you immediately? So you don't want the first high performance book. Let me put that one back on the shelf for you. Just down there. And then, so you'd rather have the middle three, so you want, I'll put this one back down and we go through these three for you before we check them out. So you were looking for the Adi Abdul one, which is about productivity and how to feel good while being productive. Yes, that's a very good read. I would recommend this. That's a great choice. And then that is, let me check for the price on this one for you because I don't know where the price is on it. That's £22. Is that a good price for you? Are you happy with that? Good. Let me put that one just under my arm for now. And then you also said you like Atomic Habits. I can show you the price on that one. So that's $16.99 there for you. Is that fine? Really good. I'll put that in here as well. And then finally, we've got the 365 Daily Journal, 365 Ways to Become Your Best. And I'd say this is probably my favourite one I've read of the three. So that's a very good choice. And let me just show you the price on this one so you're aware. So you can see there, $14.99. So altogether, that's going to set you back. Let me do the math for you. 17, 22, 15. So that's going to set you back 70. I'm going to round up. So you've got 17 plus 22, which is 39. And then 15 on top of that, which is 54. But I think I can do you a deal on these three. So I think we can do buy two, get one free. Obviously it'll be the cheapest one you get free. So we're going to take the 365 journal off here for you. And that one will be free. So all of this together will cost you £39. Are you happy with that? Is that a good deal for you? Well, technically 39, it'll be 38 to 98 because these are all 99. Oh no, it won't be. It'll be 38 to 99, sorry. Because one of these books is 99. Good. So I can ring those up for you in a minute when we go over to the till and we can make sure that you have a nice bag to carry these off in. Feel free to sit in any of the chairs if you want to stay here and do a little bit of reading because we're open all night for people I said that work late or would like to come here and relax in the evening. So once you pay for these, feel free to use our store to have a little sit down and have a read and just relax. Perfect, I'll meet you over by the tills. Thank you.